Well, let's bring in Peggy Grande, as we do every week, the former executive assistant to the American President Ronald Reagan. Controversy continues in America. Peggy's on top of all of this, but Donald Trump is at the centre of it. One of his most strident critics within the Republican Party was Liz Cheney, the 56-year-old daughter of the former Vice President Dick Cheney. At the party primary in the state of Wyoming last week, voters turned on Cheney because of her leading role in the hearings into the attack on the US Capitol building on January 6, 2021. Liz Cheney was thumped by Harriet Hageman, who was backed by the former President Donald Trump. Hageman gained 66.3% of the vote, Cheney 28.9%. But Cheney had won the general election in Wyoming in 2020 with 68.6% of the vote. She's now been thumped in what we would call here a pre-selection, gaining only 28.9% of Republican support. Let's go to Peggy. Peggy, lovely to talk to you again. Thank you for your time. What do we make of the Republican voters in Wyoming and the rejection of Liz Cheney? What's it mean for Donald Trump?
Well, thank you, as always, Alan, for having me on. And I don't think Donald Trump beat Liz Cheney this past week. I think Liz Cheney beat herself. She somehow managed to alienate herself from her party, from the people of Wyoming. She managed to make enemies with Trump haters and Trump lovers alike. She got kicked off as the committee chair, and she really has set the tone that the Republican Party and people who are trying to go up against Donald Trump better beware. And Republican candidates need to be out there talking about things that the American people care about and the people of their states care about. Crime, the open border, inflation, rising prices, the cost of energy, wokeness in schools. And Liz Cheney didn't talk about any of those things. And as you said, she got thumped. We would say she got a shellacking.
Yeah, shellacking. I love that word, shellacking. Now, in the light of all this negative publicity, there's a swamp of it, which I'll come to in just a moment. Is it still the view that the Republicans will gain control of both houses of Congress in the midterm elections in November?
Well, we certainly hope so. And, these primary elections certainly are important to win. We need strong candidates to come through. But the general election is an entirely different thing, and especially at the Senate level. And it's a little frightening because we've got our own Senate Minority Leader, Mitch McConnell, who's already coming out, kind of tapping the brakes of enthusiasm, saying, these races are hard to win and just curb the enthusiasm a little bit. So, the polling is still showing that we're going to win the House, although those margins are certainly tightening. And the Senate is always a bit of a toss-up. So we're optimistic. But again, I think if these candidates continue to talk about the things that the American people are concerned about, Republicans can win all across this nation in November.
Is Trump poised to announce his candidacy for 2024?
Well, we certainly think so. And I think the raid on Mar-a-Lago, if he was maybe on the fence about it before, I think that has just put him over that decision making. And, we need to realize that the face and the future of this party, whether or not he is in 2024, is Donald Trump. And so he's going to be the kingmaker, and people should really think twice before they cross him. It's still his party. And a lot of these candidates that are going to be ushered in and sworn in as new congressmen and maybe senators in the new year, they have the Trump Make America Great moniker, and they are going to come out fighting and swinging unlike anything other people in Congress have ever